And joining us here on Newsmax Now is Todd Wood. He's a novelist and correspondent. Thanks so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me back, Miranda. Appreciate it.
Let's talk about this debt crisis going on in Greece. The Guardian reports, quote, the Greek government has been told by its Eurozone partners not to expect debt relief anytime soon amid fading hopes of decisive action to stop the country tumbling out of the currency union. What is your take on what's going on?
Well, Greece has been defaulting or cooking the books or trying to devalue their currency for about 50 years. So it was no surprise that they would not fit in a system which is really a series of pegged currency rates against the German Deutschmark. I mean, that's what the Eurozone is. They cannot, at this point, devalue their currency now, so they borrowed $300 billion over the last several years to climb out of the debt crisis we had in '08. And they're just simply not able to pay it back. So Germany has to decide whether they're going to let Greece go or whether they'll find some type of solution. I mean, but the euro itself, as we know it or knew it, is really just no longer exists. Things are going to change drastically because it's not just Greece, it's France, it's Italy, it's other countries who are heavily in debt as well.
And really, our big concern should be Spain right now, shouldn't it?
Yeah, Spain could be the next domino. I mean, what has happened in Greece is you've had a leftist government come into power who simply said, we're not going to pay the money back, and we want to continue things as they were, where we have cradle-to-grave welfare and everything's free, and we like that. And now you have a system in France, or excuse me, in Spain, or a party in Spain, a leftist party making waves as well. So you could have kind of, and that's what the Germans and others in the Eurozone are worried about, is that this catches fire and people realize that there's a way out other than living within your means.
So, Todd, is that the real concern? Is that why people are so focused on keeping Greece in the Eurozone? Not so much that Greece really has that big of an impact on the euro, but just they're worried that others will follow suit, like you mentioned?
Well, yeah, it's credibility, right? I mean, and the euro is down below 110 to the dollar and could get weaker as this goes on. And it's going to be interesting to watch over the next few days and weeks, although this has been playing itself out now for 6 months or longer.
Well, it seems like decades,
yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. So really, you're right. I mean, it's a much bigger question, and the answer really lies in Berlin, not in Athens.
So Greece has a new finance minister. Will that make any difference?
Well, it's interesting. I wrote an article recently about how University of Texas employed him prior to this, and I guess he's going to go back to UT and teach, because the real world stuff just didn't work out so well. But I don't think this new finance minister is going to make a difference. I think that if anything, this government could be pushed out of power. The Greeks have said no, they don't want another bailout in the referendum, but I think that was more of an emotional reaction. So from what I'm hearing, Berlin has given Greece 24 hours to make a decision, and we'll see what happens.
Todd, you say Vladimir Putin is trying to split the EU and end Russian sanctions. How so?
Well, it's not just in Greece, but all along the Eastern European border or former Soviet border, whether it be Hungary, Poland, and other areas. Putin has made a big effort to try to draw some of those governments back into his sphere of influence. And Greece is a natural, fits right into that, because the sanctions against Russia have to be unanimous among the EU members. And all Greece would have to do is say no, and the sanctions would not be continued. So Putin has made a big effort to, befriend Greece. They have money problems of their own, so I'm not sure how much money they can supply to the Greeks, but they did sign a pipeline deal. And yes, Putin is trying to drive a wedge within the EU and NATO eventually as well.
Todd, in the 10 seconds we have remaining, what are your thoughts? Do you think they're going to stay in the Eurozone? Yes or no?
I don't think so. I think they'll. I think the euro is done.
Todd Wood, thank you so much for joining us here on Newsmax Now. Always good to have you. Hope you'll join us again.
Thank you. Sure. Take care.
And we will continue to follow the story. There's more to come. You're watching Newsmax Now.